He said, man, you pissed Michael Jordan off. They really fell for this. I outsmarted the feds. I said, hey, man, call my dad and tell him they got me. That's the dude right there that got caught with all the Jordans. Everybody just did this. Now everybody that's surrounding me just like, man, how you do it? As we pulling in the yard, that was the worst phone call I ever could get. I'm Sidney Coates, better known as Coco, but I'm originally from Shreveport, Louisiana. I grew up in a good neighborhood. It was called Country Club. So I was green, little young kid. All I knew was being a square and playing sports. As time was flying, my mom and dad used to always argue because my dad had plenty of women. He was a club owner. He had a club, all this yah-yah, so you know what come with it.
I was going to say.
You know, so my mom and dad separated. So now I'm with my mom. We living in the country down in Louisiana, a town called Mansfield. You know, so it was cool going on the weekends, but now I'm staying here every day, you know, so I'm like, I ain't with this country life, you know. You know, because feeding horses and cows and, you know, the chickens and pigs. I'm used to, in the city streets, playing sports, football, basketball, baseball, just the normal stuff kids did.
Right.
But I didn't know nothing about band or hoods or nothing, you know. So as we living in this country town, I kept begging my mom, we need to get back to Shreveport. Like, I can't do this. Please get back with Dad. So finally, I guess she listened to what I said and got back with my father. So as we moving back, I'm thinking I'm going right back to this same neighborhood, good neighborhood, country club, and we in my grandma's house. My grandma stay in the hood, the ghetto. And I'm like, oh, you know, this something different, you know. And I'll never forget, my first day in the neighborhood.
Well, how old were you by the time you moved back?
I was
roughly?
probably, well, that was kindergarten, so maybe 6. Yeah, I'm like 6 years old. So like I say, sports in the country, that's all I knew. So my first day in the hood, I had to go outside to get something out the car. I go outside, I'm in my underwear, my drawers, my little G.I. Joe drawers. And I walk outside and I look down the street, it's a whole bunch of kids my age. They just hanging out. And I heard somebody say, "Get your punk ass back in the house." You know, I'm a kid. I never heard cuss words from kids, you know,
right.
Maybe from adults. You know, I'm like, man, it freaked me out, like, damn. So I ran back in the house. I tried again the next day. I said, I'm going to go down there and introduce myself. Man, I go down there, and the first thing the guy say, "Get your punk ass back home." You know, so they treat me like, you know, I'm like, dang, I just want to play. And they looking at, you know, he a rich kid, you know, because I got both parents working, you know. So as time go, I finally get a chance to get down there and mingle. And this guy, they call him Lou. His real name Eugene, but we used to call him Lou. He was like the leader of all the little kids. And man, this guy used to whoop my ass every day. When I say
he older than you?
He's old. He's maybe like 2 years older than me.
Okay.
You know, but he was the leader.
Right.
And man, this guy used to whoop my ass every day. I'm talking about every day, send me home crying. So one day my dad come out there, he grabbed a big old long stick. He said, "You go out there and wear their ass out." So I'm like, okay. So as I'm walking with the stick, you know, I noticed my dad just to stop with his hand for he watching me go out. I'm like, well, you ain't going with me? You know, like, where you at? So eventually I turned around too. I said, I ain't going down there by myself, get my ass whooped, you know.
Right.
So I come back home. Next day, I go back outside again. The guy whooped my ass again, same stuff, send me home crying. So this last time, his grandmother seen it. And she said, "That's a good boy. You better not touch him no more." And after that, the guy, he looked at me, he said, "You better be glad my grandma got me off you." So he took me on his wing. And so now, I'm wondering why he started picking on me and, this stuff and that. He really trying to train me and get the scaredness out of me because he don't want nobody scared around him. He was just really off into this. Like, this a guy I knew at an early age, he was going to jail.
Right.
Because he was ready to kill, like, at an early age. So the more I hung with him, the more he raised me, teaching me the streets, he getting me tough. He instigating us to fight other kids, so I'm studying growing and growing. But I'm playing sports in the hood, in the neighborhood. So all the kids know now, this kid really got potential, even the older guys, So by the time I get to like 5th grade, I'm 5th grade now, I'm gang banging with the Roller 60 Crips.
How old is 5th grade? Like 10 or 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe something like that, maybe 8, 9, something like that. Now I'm full-fledged participating in gang activity. I'm an athlete, and I'm being a player too. I want to be like my dad. Most boys want to be like their dad. And I realized the girls liked me because they was all, well, he cute in the house, this, that, this, and that. So I had to deal with that. So now, as I done kind of got a little status, I'm meeting all the other guys in the neighborhood. And I'm noticing, like, everybody, like 5 or 6, they all families. This family on this street, this family on that street, this family on here. I'm a loner. I'm by myself. I don't have nobody. So now I'm meeting these guys, more tough guys. And more of the tough guys, they started looking like, hey, this little brother. Now people think I'm his brother because we so much together. Mm-hmm. So now I'm on a no-touch zone now. Like, hey, he off limit. Now all the older homies in the neighborhood, they looking out for me. So as times progress, I'm shooting guns. We used to go up to the interstate. We had a trail that lead to the interstate, man, and just shoot at innocent people in their cars. That's what we did, just stupid stuff, throwing bricks and billboards at your house, just little devious kid stuff, I'm having sex in the 5th grade. I lost my virginity, so I'm feeling like I'm grown now.
Right.
So as time started progressing, I'm studying moving. I got a little status now. Now my name ringing in the streets and in the sports. So my dad put me in sports around 5th, 6th grade, like organized ball.
Right.
I go out there, I don't know none of these kids. I'm thinking I'm finna see kids from the neighborhood or the school. I don't know none of them. And I'm cold. This guy put me at a center position. I'm like, what the f***? I don't play no center. I'm a Barry Sanders. I talked to my dad. I said, hey, man, I ain't with that. But my dad said, nah, stick with it. Nah, you gonna ride it out. So I said, okay. So I rolled it out. That next year when I come back to that same team, they called me to the back like, hey, we want you to play quarterback. I said, okay, I'm fine with that. And ever since that day, it was lights out. I was the Michael Vick, the coldest thing around. Football, basketball, baseball, tennis, track, whatever. I was that. But at the same time, I'm still disguising my gang culture from, my parents and all the people that's around the sports. They think I'm a good kid, but I'm really hanging with some people that don't give a damn.
Right.
So as time progressed with that, now I'm like 8th grade, still gang banging, still shooting. Now, I ain't steal. My parents taught me not to steal because we had money. So I wasn't a thief. So now these coaches, they recruit. They try to get me to come to their schools, this and that, this and that. And we had a school named Evangel. This was a known school in Shreveport that they always go to the championship. But they wear school uniforms. And I'm like, I ain't with that.
You didn't want to wear a school uniform.
I ain't with that. I'm a thug.
Right.
I ain't with wearing no penny loafers. And, I'm not with that. So I said, I don't want to go. So I said, I'm going to go with my homeboys at. So I went there, 9th grade year. Very active. So as I get there, The coach noticed how I'm moving. So he called me in there. He said, look here, Sidney. Either you going to play football or you going to hang with them game bangers. Which one you going to do?
The coach sees this, but your dad didn't see it?
I think my dad seen it, but what I left out, my dad ran the streets.
Okay.
So he wasn't at home a lot. You know, he was always gone. My dad was the type, he'll leave the house. I'll be at the bus stop next morning. He just not getting back. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was that party guy. Loved to snort, coke. That was just his thing.
Right.
You know? And once the coach told me that, I'm like, God damn, how am I? You know, I stay with, this is my neighborhood. These my friends. Like, how am I tell these guys this? You know? So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to play ball. I get home. I go to Lou. He the leader. I go to Lou. I said, man, coach tripping. He said, I can't hang with y'all no more. And I'm thinking he finna cuss me out and this and that. He was like, that's what's up. You represent the hood on the field, and we'll take care of you off the field. Don't worry about it. Go do it. So I was like, wow, that was easy. You know, so I'm cool. So now, I'm meeting more people. I'm getting more respect. My athletics, it's getting better to where now I'm a freshman and I'm playing on the varsity level. My coach put me in a playoff game, scared as a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm scared. It's cold. I'm a freshman, and I'm sitting up here watching the free safety getting smoked all game, you know. So the coach come to me, he say, can you handle it? I'm looking like, oh, shit. You know, I couldn't tell him no, because I was scared. But I said, yeah, I got it. So he told me, he said, when we come back after halftime, I'm going to put you in, be messed up. I said, okay. We come back halftime, man, soon when that guy messed up, that man slapped me on my ass so hard, boom, told me, get in the game. I said, whew. And when I get in the game, man, you can look at all the seniors in the huddle, you know, all the guys there in the huddle, and they looking like, oh, I hope this guy, you know, and I'm studying looking too. I'm just as nervous as them. And, man, the first play, that quarterback came right at me. He threw it at him, and I wrapped him, boom. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, okay. They tried it again. Came right back again with the same reaction. Boom. Ain't no action over there. They didn't throw no more over there. So I'm like, damn, you know. So coach say, hey, I got me a cornerback next year. Even the other team coach recognized me, and I couldn't believe. He like, good game, freshman. I'm like, damn, okay. So now I got big nuts now. I'm young, you know, I'm with the varsity guys. I'm in the game. So now, as I slowed down the game banging, I meet a guy named Zarico. He was on the team too. He played football and basketball with us too, but he went off into that lifestyle. He was a good kid, but he had a lot of women. So I said, okay, I can vibe with that. So me and him grew. And then Roger Brown, all us, you know, running together. So now we said, man, we playboys. So
how old are you?
I'm
17,
like
16, 17?
Yeah, 16, 17 is up in there. So now we done formed a group. We calling ourselves the Playboys. But we not thinking this serious. We just saying we Playboys, you know. And by the time we went to 2 parties, it was all over town. Playboy. We started looking like, damn, they taking it serious. So now we recruiting. And now it done came to where all the guys that's popular in the other high schools in the area, they with us now. But most of them was through Zarico, because Zarico knew a lot of them. I didn't know those type of people. I knew nothing but gangsters and people from my neighborhood, you know. So now we done formed this clique. Everywhere we went, it was Playboy. Girls. That's the life. We go to parties. It was like we was the Wu-Tang Clan. We pulling up 30, 40 deep. everybody loving us. That's just how it was. So I'm doing drugs too. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot to add that. I was doing drugs. I was drinking, but I could still go on the football field and show you what time it is. So as time progressed, now I'm like 11th, 12th grade. I'm getting heavily recruited, man. I'm talking about it was so bad to where the poster guy that came to my parents' house, he'd be like, wow, man, you getting letters from all these schools. You must be really good. You know, I'm like, yeah, I stay on the news. You know, I'm running touchdowns. I'm doing it all. So as I'm getting heavily recruited, my coach started trying to talk to me and tell me like, hey, man, you need to get your grades right. Because didn't nobody tell me about you got to have good grades and taking the ACT. I didn't know none of that. I never did homework. I ever did homework since sixth grade because the teachers passed me because of who I was. I just sit in class and talk shit. I didn't give a damn. As long as they give me at least a C, you know, I'm good. So,
but the coach is thinking you may be going to play ball at a university, and regardless, they're going to want you to, have decent scores.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Right.
You know, I didn't know that. I'm just thinking that I'm so good, my talent gonna get me to where I need to go. Not thinking it. Mm-hmm. So as time go, I'm taking the ACT test. The recruits started coming. They call and tell me they gonna buy me this and buy me that, and I'm like, okay, now I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself bad. Like, wow. So time, keep going. I get a phone call. It was my cousin Tamika, and they stay in the country town my mom from. So she say, hey, it's a guy here with these Jordan tennis shoes. You might need to get down there. I say, for real? Because we had heard that somebody, it been people robbing trains and stuff. You know that kind of stuff. It got around. And coming from where I'm from, Shreveport, Louisiana, it's north. It's not south Louisiana, like New Orleans and Baton Rouge. We like 5 hours away. So our lifestyle is totally different from theirs. So kids and people my age having that type of money and stuff like that, you don't hear about it. It's no good. So we get down there. It's me, Zarico, Suge, B-Mac, and JR. We loaded up in Zarico grandma's car. She had a big old long LTD, big orange car, big ugly car. And man, we drive down there. We get there, and we see the dude got the shoes spread it out. We're like, okay, damn, shit, he really got them. So we pay. The dude come to me.
Well, what are you paying for these?
Well, I gave him $75.
And what are they typically?
Like $200.
Okay.
Yeah, like $200. He gave me a deal for $75. So
I'm curious. They got these Jordans. They're stolen, like from a semi truck.
They fell off a truck. They fell off a truck.
Yeah.
Right.
But at this time, I didn't know.
You just think people are given 70% or 65% discounts on brand new Jordans?
Hey, I didn't know. I just knew that they were stolen coming out, Hey.
Okay.
So the guy come to me. He said, hey, you Trey son? Because that's what they call my mom, Trey. I said, yes, sir. He said, okay. He said, man, we kinfolk. That's how they talk in the country. We kinfolk,
right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't thinking nothing of it. So we left. So we all plotting. Like, ooh, we gonna be clean at school tomorrow. Ooh, we gonna be clean. We just talking. Everybody getting their outfits together. And we all said, look, we gonna meet at the same time. So when we can walk into school, we all be together.
For some reason, I hear that whole Gangster's Paradise song playing in my head, and they're all walking like in a line, And
that's really how it was, literally. So that next morning, I get up. I go to brush my teeth. I'm hearing noises. People talking. I'm like, what the hell going on? So as I got through, I looked in the other room. I see all these boxes. I'm like, what the? Then I look in the front room. It's the guy, my daddy, and my mama. They up drinking. It's 6:30 in the morning. They drinking Remy Martin, smoking, just like this 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
They partying. So I'm like, what the hell going on here, you know? So once I get in, the guy say, hey, go to school, let everybody know you got the shoes, and I'll give you half on every shoe you sell. I'm like, okay, fine, you know. So my mom, them, they looking like, yeah, do it, you know. So I'm like, cool.
This is not good, you know, advice from these adults, by the way.
Yeah. So now I'm like, well, damn. So we all meet. Me and my homeboy, we meet. Man, I'm talking about as soon as we step foot on the campus. I don't even think we was in the door yet. Man, it was like students just coming from everywhere, just like, wow, where did y'all get them? Like, whoa, how you do it? What, can I get them? Because they was like there a month or two before they really releasing. We had them real early, you know, so everybody trying to find. I said, well, look, shit, you give me 150, I got you, you know. So I look, the office, we got all these kids trying to call home to their parents to get money to buy the shoes. And I'm talking about, man, the line in the office was so long, you thought Drake was in town or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, wow, you know. So by the time lunch break kick in, my homeboy JR, he come to me. He said, hey, man, we might need to leave school early so we can get everything situated. So when everybody got to school, we'll have their size and stuff. We just, you know, pass them to them.
Right.
So I said, yeah, you right. So me, him, and Suge, we loaded up and left during lunchtime. I pull up in my yard. I'm noticing this 2-3 cars, like people just start coming in behind me. I'm like, what the? And it's kids from other schools, not my school, you know what I'm saying? It's people from other schools in the area. And I'm like, damn, how they know? Because we ain't talked to nobody outside the school, you know?
And you left early.
Yeah, because we left early, you know? So I'm like, God damn, that word travel. So I'm getting out the car like, well, it's done now. Hey, what size you need? You know, so everybody tell them their size. I go in, get the shoes. I get the money, I go back in, I give it to my mama. My mama was like the count. Like, she was on top of it. Like, when I come in that house with that money, my mama finna take the money. She finna put my portion over here and put the other guy portion there. She writing it down, got the calculator. Like, she just on top of it. Like, it was a real operation, you know? So, I'm like, damn, this shit really moving. I'm coming to school, man. I'm talking about money. I'm jewelry. I bought a herringbone about this big. Like, I paid $1,400 for. I'm just, you know. So it was this known guy named DJ Bebe, Hollywood Bebe. He's a celebrity right now.
Why is he a celebrity?
He's a celebrity DJ.
Oh, okay.
He's a celebrity DJ, but he was real popular in Shreveport. And right now he's in Dallas, but he's real popular. He be with Rick Ross, 50 Cent, like. He's real popular. You can look him up. So he come by the house. And he talking with my mom, you know, just like, yeah. So he come make it like about 10 pair. I ain't thinking nothing of it.
How many pair are there? I mean, if you're selling 10, 20 pair and your buddies are selling 10, 20 pair, and apparently your parents are selling 10 or 20 pair, and he's buying 10, like, how many shoes were in there?
Man,
how many shoes fell off the truck?
Well, it was like 4,800 pair. It was 4,800 pair of shoes.
That's a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to go back, my parents didn't sell nothing. Okay. I sold everything. Okay. They didn't do nothing. My mom ain't do nothing but just be the money collector.
Right.
You know, so Baby, we noticed he'll come right back. I'm talking about we'll give him shoes. He boom. I'm like, God damn. So now he coming 3-4 times. And I said, look here. So my mom said, hey, she just started getting them big pack, like 50 at a time. Man, this man going everywhere. He going to Dallas, Shreveport, just all the surrounding areas. So he became one of my main guys. And like all my Playboy crew members, everybody, we on, everybody selling shoes. We having fun, just having a great time. So as days go by, I'm cutting class. I see the French club, like the French club, drama club, all those different clubs the school have. So they waiting around for the school bus to go on a field trip. So I'm like, oh, shit, I might be thinking I go with them. So I walk up, I ask the teacher. I said, hey, where y'all going? She said, oh, we just going to the Strand Theater to watch some kind of opera play shit or something, And I'm like, look at him. Let's go out to eat, and we're going to go to the mall. I'm going to pay for everything. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Man, that teacher looked at me and said, are you serious? I said, yeah. And before you know it, we was on that bus, heading out. We heading out. So I tell the bus driver, hey, take us over to Shoney's Inn restaurant over here. We in Shoney's Inn restaurant. Man, I'm sitting back like I'm just Pablo Escobar. I'm just laid back. All the other students and stuff, they surrounded me, just, want to know what's going on. But they treat me like a king, like, God damn, this is the man, So we eat. I pay the tab, leave a nice tip. We go to the mall. Man, I'm buying people stuff I don't eat food with. He just come up to me. Oh, can you give me this shirt? Yeah, put it up there. I got you. Just having just blowing money.
Right.
I ain't have no bills to pay. I'm just blowing money, having a good time, partying, wilding, getting hotel rooms, just living life, day by day. The money started growing. Baby started coming. I'm talking about 3-4 times a day. Everybody in the crew, they taking care of their business. So the money's there. Okay. So maybe like 3 weeks went by. I'm walking through the hall. And when somebody come out the office, the door opens, it gonna swing open. It just swing open, So as I'm walking, I look. I see like 4 or 5 guys sitting on the bench, barefoot. I'm like, oh, mind you, that's what I left out too. I'm telling these dumb people, don't wear your shoes to school, because that's what I left out. The feds was all over the school. They walking around, just looking at people's feet. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling people as I'm selling them the shoes, hey, don't wear your shoes to school. The feds up there. You see them. Man, these dumb fools still wore the shoes to school. So I said, oh, when I see this shit, I said, oh, God damn. So I go on and run the class, So once I get in class, like I said, I got on all this jewelry, I got all this money, so I'm just stripping. I handed it to this girl that was sitting beside me in class. I said, hey, hold this, because I knew it was coming. So next thing I know, it came. Send Sidney Coates to the office, please. I'm like, God damn. So as I'm coming out my class, my buddy JR, he across the hall, he coming out his class too at the same time. So we looking like, damn, they called you too? He like, hell yeah. I'm like, oh shit. So now we trying to get our story together. So as we think, we say, look, we gonna say we got off from a white man in the van.
You're gonna blame a white guy?
Hey, man, cause see, where I'm from in Shreveport, it's black, mostly African American. I never went to school with white people in my life. Like it's always I've been around blacks, So we
you do understand every time some white woman gets shoots her husband or gets shot or kills her kids or something, she always blames the black guy. You know that, right? You see, okay. So turnabout's fair play, right?
Yeah. So we like white man van in the parking lot at Popeyes on Greenwood Road, So we kept rehearsing that. We walking downstairs, studying white man van. So boom, we get to the office. As I walk in, one of the agents say, yeah, you come on in here, Sidney. I'm like, damn. So I go be in the principal's office now. But I'm thinking it maybe like 2, 3. Man, it's like 10 feds in there. And my principal, I walk in, she give me this look like, boy, you done up, So he say, so you Coco, huh? I'm like, yeah, yes, sir. He say, what's going on with these tennis shoes? I say, what you mean? He say, well, all the people we talk to, they saying your name, saying you selling shoes. I said, no, that ain't true, sir. I say, now, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I bought a pair. But this selling stuff, I don't know what you talking about. I said, man, I got from a white man in the van in the parking lot at Popeyes on Greenwood Road. I kept feeding them that.
That's 3 years right there for lying to an FBI agent. Right there.
For real, I'm just lying. So it's like after that, it's like they got in a group huddle or something, like they all chatting amongst each other, just. So next thing I know, they come up out that huddle like, ready, break. And when he come up out, he looked at me just square in my eyes. He said, hey, so you mean to tell me that your mama wasn't pulling up in that pretty blue Cadillac of hers giving you shoes to get to the students, So I'm trying to hold my face expression and, and because he ain't lying.
Right. Because
my mama was doing it. So it felt like Mike Tyson hit me in my stomach or something, just like, I'm like, I don't know. So I kept my face straight. I said, hey, don't you never put my mama in a lie like that again. Never. I said, my mama would never participate in something like this. Never. So he was like, well, I'm just telling you what we hear. I said, that ain't true. He said, well, I tell you what. That pair you bought, we want them. I said, I tell you what, if I give them to y'all, will this clear my name with all this other stuff y'all saying? He said, yeah, sure. I said, okay, yeah, I'll turn them in. Because, in my mind, I got plenty more.
Right.
I got plenty more shoes. You can have that one pair. Because me and this guy, we done already talked about doing this every other month, So I go home, I get the shoe, I take it to the police station and, return it to him. Hey, here you go. I'm thinking everything good, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm back to living my life, partying, spending money, because we had sold all the shoes by now. Like 9.5, 10, just your common sizes. Man, they went like that. Thousands of pairs, like 9.5, 10.5, 11. They were gone quick. So mostly the only thing we had were like 7s, 13, 14, the big sizes, And they tapped our phone. You can tell when your phone tag it, back in the day, you do a lot of clicking, make a little click noise. They click, 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 click. So I used to be on the phone, I hear the shit. I used to talk to them. I used to be on the phone with girls and stuff. And I hear that little clicking noise. I just be like, hey, I ain't got no goddamn shoes. I don't know why y'all listening. Just shit like that with them. So my dad said, hey, they coming. Yeah, he coming. Because we still had boxes in the house. Even though we sold most of them, but we still had empty boxes. And we had like a shed in the back of the house. There were boxes all in there. So my dad said, hey, they coming. Y'all get this shit out of here. So me and my mom, we got all the boxes, broke them down. We took them down the road to an apartment complex and threw them in their dumpster. So here you go in my mind.
And the FBI pulled them out. 45 minutes later, the FBI pulled them all out. They had pictures of you putting them in there.
Ain't it though, for real, And I'm like, well, So I'm thinking everything good. Going back to my life, a party.
You don't know how conspiracy laws work.
I didn't. I was young. I was young. I'm thinking I outsmarted the law. This is my mind, like, they really fell for this shit. I outsmarted the feds, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, they believe that shit? Hey, So weeks go by. About 2 more weeks. One of my crew members, Courtney O'Bannon, I never forgot this day. He called me one night. He was like, Sunday night. He said, man, I got these 2 girls. Man, we need to get them. We get us a hotel room. You know, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, because I want that one he talking about. I said, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. So I'm like, well, shit. Me, my mom, my dad, and my sister, we had our extra pass in our attic. You know?
This is so bad. They'll never look there.
Yeah, you know, yeah. I guess that's what they were thinking. They'll never look there, you know. So I said, well, I can go up in my attic and put them on for the night. And then when I'm done, I just take them off and take them back and put them in the attic. So, you know, that night came, we did what we did, got the room, blah, blah, blah. I come home drunk, loaded. I forgot to put my shoes up. Went to school. I ain't thinking nothing of it. I'm at baseball practice. I'm out there on the mound pitching, warming up. So the school security guard come on the field and say, hey, Sidney, there's some people up there want to see you. You know, so I'm like, well, hey, there may be some girls from other schools. I like to have women from other schools come by the school, want to talk, you know, hug and shit. You know, all that, you know. So I get up there. I noticed the agent, he just leaned against my car. I had a white Mitsubishi Eclipse. And he just leaned against the car, just chilling. I said, oh. But I'm still in my mind like, I ain't got nothing, you know, ain't nothing, you know. So when I get up there, he say, you lied to me. I say, huh? You lied to me. I said, what you talking about? So now he say, pop this trunk. I say, hey, help yourself. I ain't got shit, you know. So he's searching and searching. I ain't finding nothing. But at the same time, he started talking shit. You lied, you lied, you lied. So finally when he got through, your ass going to jail. So he threw me in the car. Not the back seat, he threw me in the front seat. I'm like, what is this?
Did he cuff you?
Yeah, he cuffed me up. They cuffed me up and just threw me in the front seat. So I'm thinking like, well, maybe we just going for a ride or something. I thought you get in the back seat, you know what I'm saying? So, but they threw me in there. I'm noticing all the students, they coming up to the front now, you know, being nosy, seeing what's going on. So I see a guy new named Ricky D. I said, hey, man, call my dad and tell him they got me. You know what I'm saying? So they get me to the station. I'm in the interrogation room. And they got me handcuffed like this behind a chair. So they didn't just pushing on me, you know, just, you gonna tell us something. You gonna tell us something. Do you want to play football? Do you want your scholarship? Because mind you, there's a lot of stuff I left out.
But
I had
stop
signed,
leaving, don't leave it out.
Yeah, I'm tripping. I had just signed a scholarship like 3 days before they picked me up.
A full
ride football scholarship.
For where? To where?
To Louisiana Tech University.
Okay.
I had just signed now. 3 days later, they come get me. So I'm getting interrogated. I'm steady telling them, white man in the van,
right,
on Greenwood Road, the parking lot of Popeye. Like that's all I could tell you. That's all I kept saying. So my dad, the guy come in, he say, the kid's father's here. He want to know, can he come in? So they're like, yeah, tell him to come on. You know, so I'm like, my dad's here. We good. I'm probably finna go home, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like that, you know?
Dad was, he walk in and say, what have you done?
Man.
My God. I don't know what he's into, fellas.
So my dad walk in, man. My dad just bust through the door like He-Man. Just boom. Get them goddamn handcuffs off my son. He ain't did a goddamn thing. Take them off. So I'm looking like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, that law looked at my dad. He said, sir, if you don't come and sit your ass down, you finna go upstairs with your son. So now my dad is like, you all right? Give me the key to the car. Give me your money. Give me your jewelry. We gonna come get you. Don't worry about it. So I see my daddy transform. I'm like, what the damn damn hero. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit, this shit real now. So all the stuff I learned from the hood, hearing the jail stories and, you know, all this here, I'm like, man, I'm finally face this shit. So as I'm walking upstairs, I got my mat and my pill and stuff in my hand. You know, I'm walking upstairs. It's a guy they bringing out. He just got smashed. Like both his eyes just blood. He f***ed up. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm finna have to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Are they? So I have a question. How old were you?
I was 17, but the paper said 18.
But they're putting you with the adults.
I was with adults.
Okay.
Yeah, I was with adults.
You're probably better off with adults than you were with the kids. The little gladiator schools, like they're extremely violent. Like these guys go in at 15, 16 years old. These kids just want to start fighting immediately. At least with the adults, they're at least a little more calm.
Yeah. Because really, I went through gladiator school growing up through my neighborhood, fighting with Lou and them. Like that was my gladiator school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was prepared, but I was still scared.
Yeah.
You know. So as I'm walking through, I'm looking for a bed. So I find a bed, I put my stuff down. I look over, I see a crackhead from my neighborhood. So I say, well, there's somebody I know in here. You know what I'm saying? You know. So I go over there, I'm talking to the crackhead, like, man, what you doing here? You know, just making talk, trying to get comfortable. So, man, next thing I know, on the other side of the pod, it's a guy just stood up on his bunk on the bed and said, hey, that's the dude right there that got caught with all the Jordans. And it's like everybody just did this. You know what I'm saying? All eyes on me. So next thing I know, man, it was like Jesus was talking to the, you know what I'm saying? Like, now everybody that's surrounding me just like, man, how do you do it? Man, I would have traded for some, everybody telling me what they would have did. And I'm like, man, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm feeling like a celebrity in jail. Mm-hmm. I'm calling home, calling all my little girlfriends. I'm like, oh, man, jail ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I took it.
Well, I have a question. You weren't wearing the Jordans when they grabbed you, right? You said you had taken the one pair down, but you left them out.
Yeah.
Was that important? Like, did they raid the house and find the... Okay.
See, that's what happened. Okay.
That's how they got to the school?
Yeah. When I went to school that morning, I didn't take that other pair back.
Right.
So when I left, they hit the house while I was at school. And my mom, she thinking they in the attic, because didn't nobody see me go up there and get them.
So she consents to say,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. And she say when they went in, they went straight to my room, straight to my closet. And when he came out that closet and had that pair up, she said her heart just hit the floor, just like...
This kid. Well, I have a question too. Your buddy that invited you out that night with the girls, did he do that because he knew, like, was he working with them? Like, he knew if I invite him out, he's going to wear those Jordans.
No,
nothing like that.
No, it wasn't nothing like that. No, it wasn't
like it. That seems like something the feds would do.
Nah,
they'd be like, well, he's not wearing them shoes. We don't know where they are. And then they grab, you know what? We'll follow one of his buddies, get him on a dope charge or something, whatever. They'll find a reason to grab him. Yeah. And then be like, look, you call him, get him to go out with some girls. We know he'll wear the Jordans.
And there's no argument that you say, look, I saved up money, I bought these. Are these still unreleased Jordans?
Yeah, they unreleased.
They didn't release them.
Yeah. So it's not like you can say, hey, I went. They were a present from my mom or from my cousin, or I found a pair. You found a pair of Jordans that have not been released yet. And obviously, probably somebody. This truck was like a stolen truck full of Jordans or something.
Yeah, so it was a whole truckload.
Yeah, it's a bigger scam. I mean, scam. Sorry, it's a bigger crime because it's somebody at some point jacked a truck.
Yeah.
If it was like just the shoes alone, they probably wouldn't be as.
Yeah, there's some crimes that the federal government.
Cause for one, okay, they did it in Dallas. So like they say, once you cross state lines, what they call it, commerce, something like that. Yeah,
so, you're affecting commerce. Well, I was gonna say there are some crimes that to me, it's like you know, you're like, okay, it's not a big deal. Like some guy had a truck with Jordans, you know, not that they jacked him or anything, but maybe they got in the truck while he was, you know, he was in the diner or whatever it was. You know, maybe they, you know, not necessarily like a carjacking, but for something like that, the feds will take it extremely seriously because you're affecting commerce. It's like if you said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start robbing cash and carry supermarkets. And you start hitting all those cash and carries. Well, that affects commerce badly for cash and carry. You know what I'm saying? Like you're targeting, especially if you cross lines or cross state lines. So if these guys got a truck, then they drove it across state lines, and they're selling it. That's like organized. To them, they act like it's organized crime. I mean, maybe it's organized crime.
Which that situation really was, but I didn't tell them nothing. Like it wasn't nothing for them, you know, to piece together. But it was some organized crime shit. You know what I'm saying? But
you're the last leg of that. Yeah. Like you're not the one who's saying, listen, I got a guy in the warehouse. They're loading up. The flight came in. They're putting it on the truck. We got him. Here's the, you know, you're not organized. You're the last leg of that. Where it's like, I'm just selling the fucking
I'm
thing.
just part of the distribution team. Right. You know.
Did you ever figure out the whole operation, like what they were doing to kind of?
Yeah, I did.
Right.
Yeah, I did because, like I say, me and this guy had got a bond.
Yeah.
We had created a bond to where we was going to do this all the time. We was going to have, because the guy told me get Air Max, Jordans, refrigerator, stove, jewelry. I want it all. So, hey, let's do it.
You know what would get you all of that also is just getting the scholarship and getting it.
Exactly.
That takes a little bit longer. Yeah. You know, I mean, I know this is immediately
money,
but Jesus, bro.
Yeah. But,
so you're in the jail. Sorry, you're in the jail.
Yeah. So I'm in the jail. Everybody treat me like a celebrity, and I'm calling home. I'm calling people like, man, jail ain't shit. Man, this ain't nothing. You know, I'm thinking, you know, I'm living like a big shot.
Right.
So the next day, they come get me. They say, hey, if we show you some pictures, would you point them out? I said, yeah, I'll do it. You know, just talking shit. I said, yeah, I'll do it. So they took me to the federal building across the street. And then when I said, damn, I ain't know they had a federal building nowhere. It's a small town. It ain't that big, you know. So I get up there. The people hand me a book about this thick. It's probably like fugitives from all over the world or something. You know what I'm saying? So I get the book. Soon when I open the book, the first page was the guy.
I was just going to say, I was just thinking, I thought the book was this big, but it was nothing but this one guy's picture.
Man, I'm talking about soon when I opened it, like, bam, you know. So I just played it on now. Nah, that ain't him. I just kept flipping. That ain't him. But every time it get to like a white person, you know, I act like I'm really like, you know, like I'm really checking it out. Because, hey, white man in the van, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, so every time I see a white person, I be like, nah, that ain't him. Keep flipping. Like I'm really just, you know, nah, that ain't him. So I done went through this whole book. Nah, this ain't him. You know what I'm saying?
Is this the same agents? Same FBI agents? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the same ones. So they took me back to the jail. They constantly still, you don't want to tell us nothing. You don't want to tell us nothing. And my mom was still telling me, be cool. They got to give you a bond soon. You know, just be cool. So finally, I got a bond. I get out. As we pulling in the yard, that was the worst phone call I ever can get. We hear the phone ringing from the outside. So we get in the house. My mom say, this Louisiana Tech on the phone. I ain't still thinking nothing of it, you know. So I'm like, hello. The guy say, hey, man, I'm sorry. We got to take your scholarship. I'm like, what? I say, sir, I didn't do nothing. I'm out of jail. I'm innocent. He said, man, you pissed Michael Jordan off. He said, man, you got so much media and press down here on us at this school. I'm sorry. We got to take your scholarship. I say, well, I be damn. So now my dad looking at me like, what the we gonna do now? You know, so I just said, you know what? Fuck school and football. I just said, this shit. Because I felt hopeless. Because this is something I want to do all my life. And then now I'm in the the stage to where I done got arrested for something I didn't do. In my mind. In my mind, I didn't do it, hey. And I'm like, damn, they just gonna steal my life from me? So I was lost. I was depressed. Man, I went through a stage in my life. I just didn't want to live. Because I went from being that man. I was a young guy, but I thought I was not Puff Daddy. Not Puff Daddy. Not Puff Daddy. But I felt like I was a real popular guy. Like I had all the women. Like my phone rung all day and night. I can do whatever I want. I can go to any neighborhood. People knew I was off limits, like don't touch him, because if you touch him, Lou and them coming. Mm-hmm. So anytime I got into trouble, somebody tried me, Lou and them coming. My boy Lou and Chuck, Skibo, Dials, Meatball, I can keep naming. They coming for you. I ran with real young killers, and to see my life go from that to this popular guy to now, my phone ain't ringing no more.
Popular guy with a scholarship.
With a scholarship.
Yeah.
I done lost it all. Now the girls ain't calling no more. A lot of my so-called friends and homeboys, they ain't nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, so all this was fake and fraud to me. Mm-hmm. And so I just had to rebuild myself. But how I do that? Drugs.
You're making one good decision after another.
Hey, because that's all I knew. All I knew was playing ball, and now I done learned how to hustle. Because growing up in the neighborhood, I gotta say, it's some stuff I left out. Yeah. I was selling in middle school. You see what I'm saying? Like, right. I was selling in middle school. We was shooting at people like. I can count. Well, no, I can't. I can't count how many times that I done been in gun battles. It was so bad to where our older homeboys used to tell us, "Hey, little homies, y'all stop all the shooting. Y'all got the hood hot."
Right.
Well, we were just some young trigger-happy kids, But to sum it all up, they only charged me with illegal possession of stolen goods after all this I done went through. I didn't tell. They never found out nothing. The guy never.
That actually is a good. That's a. It's not perfect. The perfect would be, of course, you get away with it. But that's a good charge as opposed to what they could have charged you with.
Yeah, because they was trying.
Right.
But what it was, they knew that I was connected to that guy.
Well, that's the guy they're looking for.
Yeah, like that's who they want. So they basically just wanted me to tell on him, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't do that because if I tell on him, I got to tell on my mama. Mm-hmm. I got to tell on my daddy. I got to tell on my cousin in the country who called me. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to know it all.
Right.
So I couldn't do that. Like,
yeah, you don't get to cherry pick.
Yeah, like, I'm not finna tell on my people.
Did he eventually get caught, though? He had to get caught. He never got caught?
Not to my knowledge, no. Did nobody go to jail?
You tell me a year later he got caught for something else.
Nobody.
One of the questions I was going to ask was the whole scheme, but maybe you can't share the whole scheme.
Yeah.
Well, the scheme was basically that I guess that they'll catch the guy, whoever driving the 18-wheeler, and they'll jack him.
Okay, so it is a jack.
Yeah, it is a jack. Like they'll jack him, rob, you know what I'm saying, take it, and bring it on to Louisiana. They steal it from Dallas, and they come to Shreveport because Shreveport like a 2-hour drive.
Right.
So that what made Shreveport kind of, the spot. Because it was like off 20, 2 hours away.
Did you ever see Goodfellas?
I love that movie.
Like in Goodfellas, they do jacking. They pull up, they pull the guy over, they jump out.
I'm curious as to how they know what product's in the trailer. Like, are they watching it from the warehouse, or are they just checking the truck stops?
Well, it got to be an inside job. Like somebody got to be leaking some kind of info to know
that truck has
those shoes.
Yeah.
It's
someone in the warehouse.
Yeah,
or
see,
something
that's
like
the
that.
Colby.
part.
There's a Colby. Colby used to work in a worth. It's a Colby
I used to
calling
work
a guy.
in the logistics industry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we used to tell truck drivers if they're carrying a high value load, like back up to a concrete wall, so they can't swing, so nobody can swing the doors open.
Yeah.
Because so that's why I'm kind of curious, like how they kind of like scouting it out.
Yeah, that's probably what it was, but that's the part I didn't. I was just a part of distribution.
Right.
I was the money man.
So you're gonna fix your life by selling drugs now.
Yeah.
Right.
That was, hey,
So-
where I'm from, the economy ain't. It's no jobs.
Yeah,
we don't have no NBA, NFL, major league teams, no major colleges. We had AT&T that shut down, so I couldn't work there. General Motors shut down. Like all the good jobs was shut down. So it's either you gonna work at Burger King or hustle.
Right.
And you got to think, as a kid, I had dreams of driving Lamborghinis
Right.
with pools in the backyard, tennis court. I'm not finna go no Burger King. So I'm finna go out here and do what I see my homeboys doing. Sell this dope. Let's get to the money.
Okay. So what happens then? This is getting worse.
Well, that same guy, JR, who used to help me, now I done took backseat to him. Now he the man. Which was fine to me because I already felt like my life was over with, so I'm trying to rebuild, So now he the man in the drug world. So we doing our thing. This guy here, he connected to Boosie, the rapper Boosie and stuff. Like they used to fool around. And I rose in the ranking in the drug game. JR wound up going to jail. So now that leaves me like, man, what I'm gonna do? I'm used to this guy giving me pound.
So he's your connect.
Yeah, he was my connect.
Connect's gone.
Yeah, my connect gone now. So now I'm on my own. Like, damn, what I'm gonna do? So I got to really get out there and get it. I find me a connect, and now I'm turning my peep on, selling that dope. And me and my wife, we had an apartment, and well, she wasn't my wife then. She was my girlfriend then.
She was dating the dope man.
Yeah, dating the dope man. So
I didn't even know, really.
Yeah.
You knew he wasn't good. You knew he was paying the rent and didn't have a job. You knew something.
So I'm doing my thing. We got an apartment, and so we used to get notices a lot. Like the manager of the apartment, she's either gonna let me or her know, like, hey, the sheriff's been coming by here. They saying about your apartment, narcotics, this and that. So I'm like, oh. So I said, well, I just keep the dope in the car and not in the house. So stuff started, it's going smooth. Here I go again, thinking shit over with. And one day I'm just chilling. I'm in the house. I got a laptop on my lap. My buddy had just left from the house. He like, man, I'm finna go outside and talk to this chick. I said, oh, man, hey, cool. I ain't thinking nothing of it. Man, we got guns all over the floor, dope everywhere. 2 minutes later, I'm knock on the door. So in my mind, I'm like, well, shit, he out there in the front. He should take care of that. You know what I'm saying? They started knocking. I'm like, God damn, what the hell? So I said, well, maybe that's old girl, because there's some girls stayed up under us. They used to buy dope and shit, So I said, well, maybe that's them. So as I'm walking to the door, they started knocking.
Was it like a cop knock?
I couldn't tell.
Okay.
It was just a regular knock. That's why I said I thought it was the girl downstairs,
Right.
So, and mind you, the door unlocked. It's not locked because my friend just left out. So some said, look through that peephole. Man, I looked through that peephole. All I saw was narcotics going across the front. I said, oh, God damn. Mind you, we're in the upstairs apartment, so I tiptoe. So I'm tiptoeing to the back, like, oh, shit. Because I don't want them to hear me just running, So I tiptoe my way to the back. Now I done grabbed all these guns, the drugs. I'm throwing stuff all in my drawers. And on the couch we had the kind where, you hit the thing and it lifts your legs up. Mm-hmm. So I took all the pistols and I shoved them up under there and closed it up. I had an AK-47 in the closet, what I just bought maybe a week ago from Lou. So, I'm scared it's a bite on it, So they come bust on in. They bust in the house. I'm like, okay, So they like, yeah, you Sidney, you coach? Like, yes, sir. So now they searching and searching. So they done pulled out the big large trash bag. But it was empty, because I had sold everything by the time they came. But, it's still residue and stuff in the bag. So they see this and they like, hey, you got some more in here. Where the money? Where the shoe boxes? Where all the dope at? I said, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. So they find the gun, the AK. They didn't find all the other stuff I hid. So they running the gun now. I'm just sitting there just listening and waiting like, please don't say this gun got a body. Please, Lord, please, because who I got it from, it might be one on there.
Right.
So they came back clear. I said, whew, thank God. So as I'm walking to the front, they still certain how they stood out here and talking. Where the shoe boxes of money? I'm like, God damn, what the hell? I don't know what y'all talking about. So they hud up just like the feds did on my ass. They hud up. They come up out there. They say, where's your car? I said, oh, shit. I said, I ain't got no car. They say, so you telling me that white Eclipse outside ain't your car? No, that ain't my car. He said, well, I tell you what. We finna run the license plate. And if it come back here, we finna go in there. And we finna call a K9 out here. And if he hit, he going in. I say, well, look, I tell you what. I say, look, this my mom's car. My mom let me use to get back and forth here and there, so.
I don't know what mom's got in the trunk.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, what we could do, we can call my mom and tell her, just come get a car. He said, no, no, that ain't what we finna do. We finna get the K9 over here, and if he bump, we going in. So once he said that, I said, well, the show is over. I'm gone, So find the K9, get there, and he go sit right by the trunk. I said, oh, fuck. So the police, he popped my trunk. He just doing this. He just wiggling. He just coming out with everything. I said, God damn. So as I'm in the back seat, the police guy walk over and he say, man, this is some good. I say, it sure is. I keep the best. Fuck it. Hey, I'm caught. Ain't no sense to me lying, saying ain't mine. So yeah, I keep nothing but the best. Yeah, it's good. Fuck it. So they done wrap that up. They taking me downtown. They hit me with the same stuff. You know what you're going to have to do to save yourself, right? I said, no. Ain't nothing I can tell you. I'm solid. Ain't nothing I can tell you. I ain't got nobody to tell on. So here we go again. My first dope charge. Mm-hmm. After I already completed being on probation for the damn shoes.
And you got an AK-47? I
got an AK-47. They got me with paraphernalia, pounds, just,
So how did they get to you? A direct buy? Like, did they have a buy, or like, how did they get to you?
Well, what it was, where I'm from, they got a little thing called, what it was called, knock and talk or something like that, like knock and search. It was some little thing they had going on where they'll go around, if they get any kind of info, they gonna knock on your door and come in, you know what I'm saying? So, but I guess, like I say, the apartment manager done told us 2-3 times, hey, they asking about y'all apartment, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to slow it down. She gave us the heads up.
Right.
So I'm guessing from that, people probably complaining or probably dealt confidential informant or, just something like that.
Okay.
But when I got my paperwork, it said that it was a tip to the Central Intelligence Agency. I said, what the fuck? I wasn't that damn big.
Right.
Shit. But so I wound up getting me a lawyer, spent the money. And they hit me with probation again. Never told her nothing.
What's the lawyer? How would that cost?
With the lawyer?
Yeah.
Man, I paid him like $20,000.
Okay.
Yeah, paid him like $20,000.
So this isn't federal.
Nah, this ain't no federal. This state here. Yeah, this state.
I was gonna say federal. You're going to jail for that gun.
Yeah. Nah, this state. You know what I'm saying? It's not federal. So I get off that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm on probation again, and here it is. Still selling dope. Still doing the same shit because that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? Trying to come up. I'm studying flunking drug tests, thinking it's a joke. Listening to all my homeboys who got POs, and they be like, man, my PO don't even drug test me. But here it is. I go see mine. First word come out their mouth. Yeah, we finna do a drug test. God damn. You know what I'm saying? Then I go ahead and flaunt the drug test. Oh, you going to jail. I done violated like two times on that shit. So now they put me in the drug rehab class like I'm a junkie. I'm in the drug rehab class with junkies and shit. Now I'm like, man, this ain't hitting on nothing. You know? So I had to go every Wednesday. And you do a drug test once a month. So during this time, my dad done got ill and sick. He fighting cancer. So we had to run him to the hospital this night. But I had to go to that class too. But I said, man, f this class. My dad is more important. So I did that. Wind up going to court the next week. And the judge said, why you wasn't in class? I said, well, sir, my dad fighting cancer. We had to rush him to the hospital and make sure he was all right. I said, I'm sorry I didn't make it, but I had to help my dad. You know? Well, I'm just waiting around. So the judge say, remanded. I'm looking around like, what the hell that mean? And next thing I know, the sheriff say, put your hand behind your back. I say, what? I said, man, you taking me to jail with trying to help my daddy? I said, I'm telling my daddy about to die. They didn't give a damn. Lock him up. You know? So now I'm gone. I'm back in the jail again. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I'm on a pussy-ass violation.
Are you on double probation here? Are you on state and federal probation?
No, I'm on state.
Okay.
I had finished by then. I had finished the probation I had for the shoes.
Yeah, for the feds. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was it. Because I wasn't in like a 2-year paper deal.
Right.
So now I'm on this. So now I'm in on the violation. I done got me a little crew together in jail and shit. Mind you, my best friend got probably maybe a year before I went in. Mm-hmm. The same dude who they brought him in there with me. I said, oh my God.
Things are about to get worse.
Yeah, here you go. I got to fight. I got to get this man. God damn. I'm trying to go home.
Well, if you know that this guy is the one that killed your best friend, how come he's out at all? Like, why didn't he get picked up? Like, or is it just the rumor of everybody's like, they know he did it, but they just cops can't pin it on him yet?
Well, the cops knew who did it, but my friend, they didn't care because he was a major drug dealer, gangbanger, you know what I'm saying? So where we from, you know, they just like getting another person out the street, you know what I'm saying? Because they knew, because it was all over the town who did it. This guy's from our neighborhood. Like, we all was friends. We all hung together. So, matter of fact, this is one of the guys that people off my ass. He was one of those guys that, hey, you better not touch Coco. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in a messed up position like, well, damn, this is a guy who looked out for me all my life. But I'm in jail. I'm hanging out on Rick. And the dude come to me, he say, Curtis Jr. say he come here. Because that was the guy name was Curtis Jr. I said, oh, God dang, I got to face this shit. So I walk down there. I try to throw a little mug on my face, look like I'm mad, like, you know, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So when I walk up, you know, he just kind of looked at me like, cuz I didn't try to kill him. I wasn't trying to kill him. I was just trying to scare him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whew. Well, cuz, you didn't have to shoot at him. You know he just was talking, because they had got into some bullshit, shooting dice and shit, you know what I'm saying? I said, but you ain't have to shoot at him, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bruh. We all homies. You know, but he just started explaining, like, man, I didn't want to do it. I promise I miss him. So once he said that to me, it kind of took a load. I was like, well, okay, cool.
Yeah, he's not trying to be a tough guy.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, and I ain't no tough guy neither, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at, you know, shit, ain't nobody else did shit. So y'all speak for me, the athlete.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got cool. We got back cool. We talking. We, in jail handling business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who made my jokes fun.
Right.
Like, he made it fun.
How long were you in?
Maybe a couple months. But it was a violation, you know what I'm saying? So a couple months, I'm right back out. Because you do like a 90-day turnaround, shit like that there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's when you went and got a regular job. You decided this was enough. I've had enough of this. It's not for me. It's not going anywhere.
No, I did.
Nothing wrong with Burger King.
But I'm not going. Okay, now you know what? I did try to get a job. I was going to little temporary services and stuff like that. But they were sending me on bullshit jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Not the CEO position you deserve.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Right. Hey, you see what I'm saying? Look, my first day there, you know what they sent me to work on the damn trash truck. Man, my mama must have talked about me like a dog. She said, nah.
Bro, garbage men make like they make like $80,000 a year. I mean, you start off, it's shit.
Not where I'm from.
But eventually, it doesn't matter. You get a job there for 2 years. You go to another city. Now I got 2 years experience. They hire you for $80,000. You can work overtime and make over $100,000. Plus, you get a great pension. 20 years, you can retire. I mean, and get like what it was a retirement on for a city job. It's like 60% or something like that. Like, that's not a bad.
I didn't know that, dude. I was young-minded. You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
But look,
we're gonna
where I'm from, you is not getting paid that kind of money to be no trash man.
I know, but you start there and you give it a year or two, and now I've got experience. So when I go to another city, I've been doing this for 2 years. They're like, oh, then they hire you at a better position where they pay good money.
True, but my mind wasn't there.
You were thinking long term. I'm thinking you're not a long term thinker at this point.
Not then. No.
Okay.
I was on some right now money.
Right.
Like, why would I come to work, get up out my sleep early in the morning?
That's for suckers.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then when I get my check, this $280. What the is this? I can make this in 2 minutes. I can make $200-300 in 2 minutes. While I'm coming out here to ride on the truck, get all this nasty stuff all on my clothes.
They never get arrested. They don't arrest them for nothing.
Hey, you know what? I had fun doing that.
See?
I ain't gonna lie. I had fun doing it, man. Because the people used to leave us little dollars and stuff out, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
water.
Listen to this. You know what our garbage men do? They put a thing on our door. They put for Christmas. They put a little. It's a little Christmas card, and then it's like, "Hey, Merry Christmas," whatever. It's got some cutesy little thing, and then it says it's got their cash apps. It has the two guys' names and their cash app. Wow. We send them $10. I've been doing this for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Every Christmas, I send each one of them $10. And you know what? If I'm doing it, I don't know if you've noticed this.
Yeah.
There's a shitload of houses. If only Jess and I have figured it out. Man, these guys are making $5,000 or $10,000. If only like 10% of the neighborhood did that. It's 5%. Oh, it's not 10,000. It's 5,000. It's a $5,000 bonus for probably what cost them $30 in cards.
Yeah,
so that's smart too. And actually, I appreciate them doing it because it's one of those things where you feel like I should do something, but you forget about it.
Yeah.
So they're like, boom. Oh, I know what else they do. They put a little mint in the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
pays for itself, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh,
man,
absolutely.
Yeah. We wish it was like that for us, but man.
Could have been.
Man, you might get lucky when you get to a trash can, you see an envelope might got $10 in it.
Yeah, this really is the perfect neighborhood to do something like that.
Oh, this is, yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, we come from a smaller city, and it's not that much money in there, so you can't expect nothing, you know. Like the most fun I had being a trash man, we really used to go through neighborhoods, and it used to be women flashing their titties and stuff else. You know what I'm saying? So I got a kick out of that shit.
How long did you do it?
Well, you know how the temporary agency do you. Soon when you get, what they say you do 90 days, when you do day 89, they get rid of your ass. So soon when I got to my 3 months, they fired me. And I'm like, what the? I thought I was a good worker. They fired me. And then they come back. They send me to a General Motors supply shop. Now they got General Motors supply shops. Not General Motors, but like a supply shop that do like the frames or the seats and stuff for the cars or whatever. So now I'm over there. Get over there. This shit easy. But it's still, you ain't making no money. $8 an hour, shit like that. This ain't for me. You know, so I'm still working, but I'm hustling. I'm coming to the job. I'm hustling. Hey, man, I got that.
Is it possible that that's the reason you got let go from the trash job?
Nah, I didn't sell no drugs on the trash.
Okay.
we were too busy dumping trash. You know what I'm saying? But
It's a perfect cover.
but you know what? I should have been.
Look. Oh my God.
I should have been. I should have been selling dope off the trash truck. That'd have been a good little cover up. Yeah, I should have did that. Nah, no.
No, it's not too late. No.
You right.
No, stop.
I'm putting the application in when I get back. But yeah, they sent me to the General Motors supply shop. So I'm out there working, same old stuff, working and hustling. And they, about do the 3 months, there it go again. Gone, fired. It's like every time you get to that 90 days, because they always tell you, oh, you worked this job for 90 days, they'll hire you on permanent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like every time you get close to that permanent, they fire you. So they did it again. They fired me from this job. I say, you know what? The temporary service, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Man, I'm still on paper.
Right.
So, okay, you remember Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans?
Yeah.
Okay. I got an uncle. He was down there working. He had a little crew, and they was making money. You know, I'm hearing about it. Like, hey, your Uncle P been there making money down there. I'm studying. And I said, shit, I need to go down here. So finally I talked to him. He said, come on. I get to New Orleans. I go look in the hotel room because we got to stay in the hotels. I go in one room, I see 3 guys that I know. You know, I'm like, damn, what they doing down there? I ain't, what the hell? Then they in there cooking crack. And they got the microwave, boy, they going, boy, they in there cooking crack. So I'm like, damn, what the hell y'all got going? Man, it's rolling down there, you know what I'm saying? So that was like music to my ears again, you know what I'm saying? So I go to my room. I ain't thinking nothing else, but I'm just still thinking like, damn, they down there making money. I get a knock on the door. I open the door. It's my uncle. So my uncle come in my room. He say, this for you. He gave me like 4 ounces of. He say, don't tell your mama. I said, I ain't gonna tell her. Hell no. I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So here I am, back at it again.
So when you say they were down there working, I thought you meant like trimming trees.
Oh,
or...
They was doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think that like all the drug dealers down there got drowned in Katrina and there was an opening.
Because that was the good part. Because a lot of those guys from New Orleans was gone.
Yeah.
A lot of them gone to Atlanta, or even where I'm from, Shreveport, Houston, Dallas, like they gone. So it's no dope there like that. You know? So my uncle give me that, and I'm seeing what's going on at the hotel. We go to work. I'm like, I make more money staying at the room than going to go work with you. So I said, no, work. Then George Bush, he had bus loads of like people from South America, you know, to help clean up.
Yeah.
They had a lot of gualas down there from South America, you know what I'm saying, just helping, and paying them like $200 a day.
I've never heard guatas.
Yeah.
Guatemalans?
Yeah,
okay,
we call
all
it gualas, you know. So it's a lot of them. So a lot of them stayed at the hotel, or they knew to come to this hotel to get the dope. So every day at 4 o'clock, they'll get off, and you'll see that bus. And man, when I tell you, it was bus loads of them. And I'm talking about they knocking on that door. Give me. You know how they talk, you know what I'm saying? And they take whatever you give them. Whatever you give. Man, I'm in there giving these guys $10 rocks for $100. Like, it was just that simple. So I said, well, going to work, well, I can make $1,000 waiting on them to get out of work. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that was my life. I'm calling home telling everybody, hey, I'm finna move to New Orleans. I'm staying down here. You know what I'm saying? So, what we was doing, we was house gooding. We was gooding our houses, and they were paying us the good houses out.
Right.
Okay? So, once we figured out what my uncle was doing, how much he was paying us, we like, man, we could do this ourselves. So we done took our drug money and went and bought materials and stuff, because we finna start our own business now. So I done called up one of my homeboys from back home. Hey, man, you need to get to New Orleans. I got you. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Just get here. So he come. So we said, man, we gonna go out tonight. We gonna go party. Because back up from that, me and a couple of those guys, we had went out and found businesses. And we had met these two. We met an older lady. She owned funeral homes and stores. And she said that we can do all they funeral homes and all they stores. And we met this guy. He was a realtor. And he was like, we can do all the houses he owned. Like houses we seen him in Baby from Cash Money, like they neighborhood, you know. So we like, we good. Man, we finna be millionaires, you know what I'm saying? So we said, we gonna have a party. We go to downtown, we trying to party in New Orleans, you know, get us some girls and all this. And as soon as we get to the club where we was heading, police come from everywhere. They surround the car. And I'm like, what the f***? We ain't did nothing, you know. I got on me.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say this. The reason why I had the on me is because...
You're selling.
Yeah, I'm selling great too. But what happened, I had some more cousins and friends. They was there at that same hotel too that was down there working. They were hustling. But it's some guys from New Orleans that was there, broke into their room and stole everything. So I said, they gonna get us next. So I said, nah, they ain't getting mine. They ain't getting mine. So I said, we can go out, just take mine with me, leave it in the car, and when I come back out, you know, we good. But instead, the police around the car. I'm in the back seat. I got crack in my pocket and everything. So I hear the police ask the driver license and registration. So the driver, he in there just, he stuttered, I said, oh, God damn, this ain't got a license. So here he go, sir, I don't have license, but I got an ID. So I'm like, we. So as he getting his ID, I said, shit, I gotta get this out of my pocket. So I'm trying to ease in my pocket. So next day when the police say, hey, get your hands out your pocket. I said, oh, sir. I said, sir, I'm so nervous. I'm just trying to smoke a cigarette. I'm just trying to get a cigarette. So he let me be. So I said, well, shit, I'm going to try it again. Here I go again. I'm trying to go in my pocket. Next thing I know, he done opened the door and yanked my ass up out the car. Get your ass out. And he went in my pocket and pulled. He say, charge him with intent to distribute. I say, no, I smoke. I say, no, I smoke. I smoke, sir. I do not sell. He said, man, you lying. You look at you. Man, you don't smoke no crack. I say, yes, I do. He said, how long you been smoking? I say, since high school. I say, I love it. He said, man, you lying, man. You don't smoke no crack. I said, yes, I do. I love crack. But I'm just saying this to keep him from giving me a tip to distribute. And I'm on paper, you know what I'm saying?
Personal use. It's personal use.
So now they got us in the car. They just waiting around for some reason. And I hear them calling, they running our names. So I hear them say like, hey man, you stay on such and such street? I said, no, I'm from Shreveport. I'm not from New Orleans. So come to find out, somebody got the same name as me. So I'm like, oh, nah, that ain't me. So I'm started trying to talk to the police. I say, sir, we are here to help clean up y'all city.
We're doing God's work.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, we just come to have a fun at a party. We right in front of the club, not around the corner. Like, all we got to do is just get out and get in line. We right in front of the club. I said, come on, man, let us. Man, that man looked at me and said, no, you can't, your ass to jail. I say, well, I'll be damned. Man, when I tell you New Orleans prison system, whew, that shit totally different, man. They was bringing guys in, I'm talking about like every 30 seconds, you see somebody else coming in. Doom, doom, doom. I'm like, God damn, these off the chain. You know, so now they done got us all processed and booked in and all this here. So now, the New Orleans boys, you know, because we had a thing, you know, in prison, it's them against Shreveport, South Louisiana, North Louisiana.
Two different cars.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like cars, you know what I'm saying? But we really was rivals. So I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to fight again. Here we go in my mind. I got to fight. These New Orleans boys, you know. So a New Orleans boy come up to me. He said, hey, Wolf, because that's how they talk. Hey, Wolf, what you in for? So I'm explaining to him, like, yeah, man, they pulled us over and they found dope on me and this and that. Then the police took all my money. You know, but I ain't never went through that in Shreveport where the police steal your money and all this. So the dude looked at me like, shit, they do this on a regular. I these dirty cops, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you lucky. That's it. So I'm like, well, damn. You know? So now, I'm in a cell. You got little young boys, 16, 17. Man, these little young guys, they are from... Man, I'm talking about, they love guns in New Orleans. They love it. And robbery, that's them. Man, they bringing youngsters in there, man. I'm talking about one youngster coming in. He just come in. Soon he came, he kicked his shoes out. Fuck it, I ain't going nowhere. And just kicked back in the bed. I say, man, crazy down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen so much shit in OPP, Orleans Parish Prison. Man, I'm talking about motherfucker had guns in there. I seen an inmate with a gun. Man, they hiding FEMA checks in their shoes because the police stealing them. Right. They got FEMA checks in their shoes, just all kind of stuff, you know. So I'm in there about my third day, and I noticed this guy, he must was the one that run the till. So he sent some guys down there like, hey, Wolf, they come holler at him. I'm like, oh, shit, here we go again. So I walk down there. He like, hey, Wolf, I know you're down there helping our people, you know, but you from Shreveport, huh? I said, yeah. He said, I tell you what, when you get out, don't come back. So I knew what that meant. And I looked there, I said, you ain't got to worry about that. I'll never come back to New Orleans again in my life. Fuck New Orleans. That's just how I took it. I'd never come back here, you know. So I said, well, I got spared because he let me know, like, hey, we know y'all down there helping cleaning up, so we going to let you make it. But don't come back. I said, hey, no problem.
Right.
So I go back to my cell. Now I'm in here kicking with all the other guys. Some guy named Wookie or something. We smoking cigarettes all day and night. And I'm just wondering, like, damn, is this a setup? Is this motherfucker he gonna want something in return? But But he ain't getting all that he wanted to use my 3-way. I'm fine with that, you know. So I finally get out of there. And they give me a court date to come back.
Right.
I never went back.
But so what are you doing now?
Right now, I'm a family man. I'm married. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. I got a job. I done left the life behind me. I finally realized sometimes you got to work for what you want to get.
Right.
Being patient and humble.
That took a little bit.
Yeah, it took me a long time. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took me a long. I wasn't with it. I didn't. Them wasn't my dreams. You know, that wasn't my dream. My dream was to have Lambos, Mercedes, Bentleys, big houses. I was trying to save everybody, and that was wrong with me. I was trying to save everybody, trying to save my family, my friends, and they were gonna do me just like Michael Vick. I was gonna be in the feds too, selling keys.
Well, listen, I can tell you right now, doing 13 years in the feds, I never once thought, boy, I sure do miss my Audi. I sure do miss my, you know what I'm saying? Not once. It was like, I miss my son. I miss my, miss my girlfriend or you miss my friends. Like I never once thought, man, I miss driving that Porsche. Not once. So you made the right call.
But you know what? My childhood friend Lou, I guess he don't think like that. He did like 11 years flat. Mind you, he did jail time before he went to the feds for drugs, all this. The guy did like 11 flat in the feds. Came home. I was living in Colorado at this time, me and my wife. And he get out. Everybody back home calling me like, man, come get him, man. He tripping because he was getting out spazzing, slapping people, just ready to go back, I guess. You know, so I come get it. I said, look, man, come out here and stay. You good. The weed league out here, you can smoke, get you a job. You good. Man, the next day, this guy ready to go back to Shreveport. Man, I don't like this. I got to go. I said, what? And when he went back, he went right back to jail a week later. I said, man, this guy must really love jail. But I had to realize some people are really soldiers. Like you really have some people that just, that's what they want.
Yeah, that's their life.
That's their life. Decided. Like that's the life they live. Like you know how us, we'll be like, man, something must be wrong with that guy. Why? But they not with working for nobody or nothing like it. It's just this they life and this is how they gonna die. The game.
No thanks.
I feel you.
Hey, you guys, if you like the video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, please check the description box. We're going to leave all of Sidney's social media links, so you can just click on it. He's got Instagram, Facebook. Also, please consider joining our Patreon. It's $10 a month. We put Patreon exclusive content on Patreon. Thanks again. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. Thank you for coming. See ya.